All right, so we are back. I think I think this should get my microphone working. Wow, it sounds like it might be a little too loud. I don't know. We'll find out. So let's you know what? I'm gonna work with a smaller project. I was doing a test earlier, this iclone test thing. Um, I'm gonna try just to get the plugins working, the 360 camera thing working. The city project itself is a little bit big, and I hate having to wait for it to load and render and all that stuff. So I do have this project that I did a demo for yesterday, and that's all I really care about. I'm just gonna delete all this because this is a project I was getting ready to delete anyways. I don't really need any of this stuff. So let's see here. Okay, pretty straightforward, loads up really fast. Let's see if we can bring in the camera 360. I should have grabbed myself another cup of coffee before I sat down, but alright, I got a little bit of water. I might have to get up to make some coffee in a minute. So we'll look for, I think it's called camera 360. Got different types of cameras here that I've been playing around with. So I'm gonna add this to the iclone test. Okay, that seems to have done the trick. And let's see if we can refresh here. There it is. So, according to the tutorial, I have to drop the pointer camera, which is what is responsible for capturing, and I have to drop an instance of the camera record 360, and this can be anywhere in the project. So I'm just gonna take this and move it up there. So theoretically what's supposed to happen is that anything that this camera points to, and not just pointing to it directly, but technically, you know, up, down, left, right, all that stuff, is supposed to be translated into whatever this camera sees. Ooh, wow, right off the bat it worked. I had nothing preventing it from working. Well, that is certainly, oh, I guess that's the player. That is certainly something that I didn't expect. I guess it's because I was working on a project that had all sorts of shit in it already. Touch controls seem to work for this one project. I wonder if I can implement this into my other virtual camera. Alright, so let's take this and put it under the floor so that we don't see it. How do I render this out? Just this, without having to go through sequencer. And this player, I don't want this player to be visible. So do I have the player start? That's this guy here. Hidden in game, maybe. Let's try this again. Oops. That is the opposite of what I wanted to do. Okay. But this is promising, you know. It's very promising. I know that I can pipe this image live into something like OBS and record it, and I can also take this and flush it into my recording device through my Blackmagic deck link, and just export the live video without having to go through the rendering process. But how do I render an actual thing from real time? How indeed. Let's see if we can find us a tutorial. Play in editor settings, blah blah blah. Playing and simulating in editor, play, simulate, view modes. So level editor, play, yada yada yada. There's got to be like some kind of button or code that I can run to just export whatever the camera is seeing in real time. Because ideally, that's where the usefulness is. I don't want to have to create level sequences and shit, you know. I just want to be able to place my camera somewhere on the stage, export that view, and call it a day. I can cheat. I can use Camtasia and worry about figuring it out later. So, can I do that? Is that even correct? Because I'm looking at this. I am looking at this, and I'm seeing these red bars at the top and at the bottom, which means it's not filling a full 360 thing. It's doing its own aspect ratio. I wonder if that's even correct. Let's test this out. You know what? Because I know this is possible. I'm not gonna worry about rendering it out yet. What I'm gonna do is I am going to cheat. I'm gonna take this Camtasia footage. Camtasia recording thing. I'm just gonna record. I'm just gonna grab this frame. I don't even know what the aspect ratio is. Should I even worry about it at this time? I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. So Camtasia, I don't need to record the microphone. I don't need the system audio. Let's start with a 1080p. We'll lock it and see if the aspect ratio matches. So it's not a 1080p image. What is the aspect ratio? Well, there's another way that we can figure it out. I'm going to go ahead and launch iclone. We'll figure this out because there's all sorts of things that are, you know, that have to be taken into account. I'm pretty sure this is not a true aspect ratio for an HDRI, or maybe it is and I'm just thinking about it incorrectly. But I'm going to load up iclone. I'm going to load up one of their little HDRIs. I'm going to take the measurements and I'm going to compare against the image that's being output here. It's taking a while. Okay. So, iclone content. Let's see if we can get like a simple one. Should have just grabbed that Camilla one. I had already that one already loaded. I already had that one loaded. Geez, I gotta practice my English skills. Does this have audio? Good. I don't really care. I just need a project here. So let's see here. And this image, where is it coming from? Edit, project settings, color management, visual settings. Here it is, activate image. So let's find the HDRI stuff. I'm going to try the regular ones first, and then I'm going to bring in a skybox, which the skybox stuff, the skydomes are the ones that are probably going to be the ones that work. What is this? I usually keep these in the image-based lighting stuff, but I don't even remember where that is. Could it be here? Lighting. Stage, camera, image layer. Video. Okay, that's just flat video. Height map. So I haven't really had much chance to play with iclone 8 yet. So there's some changes here. Come on, I'm trying to work as fast as possible. Maybe it's under window, visual settings. Here we go. Somewhere in here there's an option for image-based lighting. Activate IVL. HDRI. So we have a bunch of them here. So here's like a reading room. So what it does is that it uses these 360 images as a way to bring in the lighting for the character. And what do you know? The resolution is right there, 4096 by 2048. So if I put that number in here, by 2048, and I lock it. It's not giving it to me because my monitor is not that big, so we're gonna have to kind of hack our way through this again. We'll just look for something called like an aspect ratio calculator. So custom, and we're looking for 4096 by 2048. 4096 by 2048. And that's not helping. This is a bad calculator. It's giving me the aspect ratio, but that doesn't really. I need to be able to convert this down to a smaller number. Let's see if we can find. So 4096. Let's try this one. $20.48. Did I get that right? It's a 2-to-1 aspect ratio. Is that correct? $20.48. It's a 2-to-1 aspect ratio. Okay, so that's a little bit more standard. So if I bring this down to 1080, the other number that I need is 2160. So this is a little bit more manageable. So I'm going to take this and put 2160 and 1080, and I think that gets me the actual aspect ratio that I need. I'm going to lock it in place, and I'm going to see if that matches with whatever's being cropped, because at this point I just, oh snap, it's a 2-to-1 aspect ratio. That's what it expects. Perfect. So we have that confirmed. Alright, we have that confirmed. We're looking at an image that's at a 2-to-1 aspect ratio, and all 360 angles have to fit within there. That's beautiful. That's perfect. Okay. So my export settings, so for my export settings on the project itself, I'm going to change it. Let's see, select project settings. So from the start, I want to get myself the aspect ratio that I need. Excuse me. Two to one maximum aspect ratio, perfect. But I need an actual pixel density. Minimum default rendering resolution, maximum 2160. Okay, that's fine. Where do I change my damn numbers? Alright, I'll worry about this later. Let's see here, project description. Let's try one more. Description, publisher, legal, displayed settings. It's been a while. Virtual production. Either they changed it or it's just been so long that I don't remember where any of this shit is. Expand, export. Let's consult the Oracle. So we need Unreal. How should we look for this? Open the play settings, edit play editor preferences. Well, why didn't you just say that? All right, where is it? Ability, graphs. Okay, well, it's not there. New viewport resolution. Seems like that would be it, right? Well, there it is. Level editor play. I think I found it. Default screenshot resolution. All right, so what we need, I need to be able to find this without going through too much stroke. Level editor play. So that's here. Boom, there it is. So this, we're gonna set it to 2160 by 1080, I think. Oh no, that was the original math. We need the big one here. The big one is, according to Camtasia, is 2560 by 1280. And we're going to have it center itself. Alright, let's take a look at that. Boom! Perfect. So we'll take this and kind of... it's not quite. It is. It's just because it's windowed, it does some weird shit. So let's get this out here. Alright, so basically I'm cheating. For testing purposes, what I'm doing is that I'm going to screen capture this area here and I'm going to export it to a video. That's the most ghetto thing ever. But you know what? it's about the main experiment. You know, if the experiment works, I'll come back and do the time and figure out how to do this the proper way, because there's got to be a better way to just export this in real time and get a higher quality video out of it. So I'm going to start recording, and you know, just so I know it's something's moving, I'm going to do this and maybe some of that. All right, that's enough movement. So I'm going to stop the recording, F10, and Camtasia is going to give me a little bit of a video now that I can export and hopefully use as an HDRI footage inside of iClone. And if this works, then we're going to go and try it with the city thing, and or a different project, just so that we can get a better idea. So I'm going to exit this. Where's Camtasia? So there's my video. Oh, that's beautiful. It's the exact aspect ratio and everything. So okay, so let's see here. I am going to export this to a local file. So this one didn't work earlier. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that. Okay, so this is the one that just got recorded. I probably should have edited that little section out so I could stay with just something that's constantly moving, so I know it's working. Right, it doesn't matter. I got a working video. That's all that really matters. And this is an MP4 format. It is 1.07 megabytes. I don't need those. And I'm pretty much done with this. I should have iClone open already. There it is. Oops. That's Axis Neuron. iClone. Okay. So, HDRI. We're going to put in our video as the source for the HDRI. Usage of video footage for IBL can cause loss of reflection details in PBR projects with highly reflective metallic surfaces. Would you like to? I have no idea what that means. I do want to continue. Whoa, that is trippy. So how does this work now? Is there a play button? Wow, that looks like shit. You know what's happening is that maybe there's a codec that's missing because this is not playing, and this thumbnail is black and gray scaled and stuff, so that's the image lighting that's being brought in. How do I get that to work now? This is probably a codec issue. How does this work? There's got to be a way. And I turn it off and it doesn't come back. That is weird. Let's do Control Z all the way back. Okay. So That did not work. Let's see if it's an issue with the video, because if it's an issue with the video, then when I import this video as a plane, it will also give me just some random bullshit. So let's try it as a plane. It's there. So it's not a codec thing, because otherwise it wouldn't play properly. Alright. Let me see if it plays the video itself. Yeah, the video plays. So it's not a codec thing. It is most definitely the HDRI feature in iClone probably not supporting this. Let me try a couple more times. How do we get this? I mean, maybe it's just not meant to work this way. Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's a bug or not. If it's probably not even intended to work this way. Otherwise, more people would use it, right? But it was a thought that came to me now. All right, so I'm gonna probably, for now anyways, because I know there's a way to enable the view of the HDRI so you can see it in there. I'm gonna kind of give up on that real quick for the sake of time, and I am going to look for one of the actual like plugin thingies, not plugins but assets, because there is some skybox stuff already configured somewhere. Let's see here if I even have it. Anime sky, evening sky. Skydome HDR. Okay, so we're going to bring in one of these guys. I guess it doesn't really matter. This file was created in a prior version of iClone, blah blah blah. Yes. So it's a skydome. Basically all it is it's a sphere with a map, a texture map on the inside. So you look at all this stuff on the outside there. Scene. So if we look at it here, let's see here. I lost track of where I was. Maybe I can Control Z my way back. So let's put that skydome back in there. And if we can find the settings for this, there it is. The diffuse texture is 2880 by 1440. I'm hoping it's the same aspect ratio, because as long as it matches the aspect ratio, it should be fine. Look at that shit. It's a little bit bigger than I was hoping. So the idea is that it's so pixelated. The idea is that I can get that entire environment that's in Unreal and just do it inside of iClone. I gotta get the right proportions though. Is there a way to make this smaller? Scale. Could that work? Let's try scale 50. Scale 10. That's promising. Maybe scale 0 or 1. Wow, that is trippy. Let's try 2, 3. It might already be looking too big. The pixelated nature of this thing is probably going to make it a deal breaker, unless I can get the accurate proportions or some kind of super high res export. What is she doing? So there it is, though. It's kind of, it shows that there's promise to this kind of a technique, because I can, for certain scenes or whatever, it might just be easier just to do them in iClone. Maybe if they're just like talking head animations and stuff, there's no need to go through the whole Unreal process. And maybe if you can blur this stuff out, it won't matter so much, because with the blurriness would hide a lot of the pixelation. Let's see here. Let's try 4. Let's try 8. See, at that point it becomes pixelated. But I seem to remember that looking very small. No, it looked small because I was looking at the full 360 image. That's what that was. It was probably that big the whole time. It looks terrible. Super pixelated. Now, if I can figure a way to get the measurements to line up, that will probably give me a better scale. Now, I wonder if I can bring that plane to line up with the iclone plane. Would that be the X? That's the Z value, huh? Let's try 100. It's a little closer. What would be the math for this? Would it be the half of the height? Let's try that. 1280, I believe, high, divided by 2, 640. Let's try 640. That's way too high. Let's take that 640 and divide it by 2, 320. What did it do? Oh, come on. What happened? 320. The fuck? There's kind of a bug there. Alright. So, okay, so it looks like that might be a little bit more accurate in terms of the placement. I just need to zoom in on the character enough. How do I keep that warping effect from happening? It looks like I'm close. It looks like I'm close to the math. So basically, when I'm here, this horizon line should be nice and straight. Oh man, should have paid attention in math class. Thanks for sharing. Oh, you are welcome. I don't know how long ago you posted that. I wasn't looking at the chat window. Okay. So I do need to try and export this out in a from like a bigger scene, like, you know, the city pack or something with cars flying around or whatever. And I know that I can stream data from Unreal, like actual video. I wonder if I can bring in live video and use this like a live 360 video as oh good, as my background. That would be very interesting, because that would allow like some kind of virtual production type workflow where you can stream a virtual set from Unreal with a live character that you're controlling inside of iclone without having to go to the live link thing and do this stuff inside of Unreal. I mean, so I gotta admit, you know, either some of the stuff is already pretty good inside of iclone itself. So even working with some of the flat shaded characters, which I've had a very difficult time trying to get them to look the way I've gotten them to look in iclone inside of Unreal. But this, I mean, this looks nice, except for the pixelation. That warping is not too bad, which means I'm very close. It could be 180. You know what? That might be the magic number. It's one of those, 180, 160, or 190. seems to be wanting to be there. If I could export a high enough resolution video, I mean, this was just a screen capture through Camtasia. I think that's all there is at this point. Getting a really good screen capture and getting the right scale, because like at this point, look at this line, it's almost straight, and ideally that's what it needs to be. It has to be straight. Right now it's still being, the lens is kind of warping it. But this would be a good way to bring in all that complex geometry from Unreal. Just use it as a background, and then you can play some local props here, a couple chairs, a table or whatever, and that's it, because the rest is just one polygon basically. You know, this entire background is, you converted millions of polygons into one polygon. So theoretically, I don't know, there's a possibility here. So let's see, what else can I try? Let's try 160. Oh, that looks pretty straight. So if I take a camera here, render animation, create, there it is, create camera, linear camera, and let's use a true to life camera. I don't know why they don't put an 85 lens. 85, somewhere between a little bit above 80, 85, 88 is the natural world, the way that people see each other. Any other lens distorts the image. So a lot of people like, okay, this is film, 35 millimeter film. I mean, I guess they just don't understand, but take a look at what 35 millimeter looks like. So there's a heavy distortion there. So if you want your characters to look as close to life as possible, start with an 85 millimeter field of view, or whatever you want to call it, length. So this will give you the most natural appearance, the most true to life view, and then from there you can play around with other stuff if you want. So let's see here. Where's that ball? Okay, it's right there. I'm just gonna hit play. Oh, look, I made an accidental animation. Where's the timeline? I don't want this. So, did I animate the camera or did I animate that skydome? Zoom out. Somewhere in here there's going to be a rogue keyframe. Alright, oops, what did I do? So that's for the camera. And I guess this thing has rogue keyframes as well. And what else? Okay, so let's go back to the camera on frame 1. Let's find our spot here. Where are you? There we go. And It's crazy. So let's watch that video play. We're close, we're close. So we got our lens. What is this mess? What did we do here? Oh, I'm an idiot. I was moving the camera while I was playing, so it created a bunch of keyframes. So, okay, so we have our focal lens here and focal length. Let's see if we can play around with the field of view and depth of field and all that good stuff. Because damaging it up, making it blurry is definitely going to get rid of some of that pixelation. Perhaps not as good as we would like it to. I don't want to do that. I got the wrong one. Camera. Pick target. Let's take a look. All right. So if we, how can we do this without creating keyframes? Switch to the preview one, duh. Too bad the this camera doesn't allow us to play around with the depth of field and stuff like that. Would be cool though. Let's see. Let's try this thing here, see if it works. Iclone, hurry up. Okay. Yeah. The thing is, I just gotta keep experimenting and figuring it out. Ideally, those backgrounds, I want to be able to render them out from Unreal. And I decided that because the overall experiment is to see if iclone would support this skydomes in here with video footage, I didn't want to spend all that time learning how to do that, but I'm gonna have to go back and do all that, assuming this works. How does this? I suck at this. How does this even work? There it is. So you control this like a video game. You walk. Whoa! I exited the skydome. There should be like a jump. There it is. That's funny. She jumped out and stuck her tongue out at the same time. So I guess that would be the problem. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how practical this would be. This might be just for like small like talking head shots where you just need like a background, like city background and stuff. That tongue, man, that's crazy. So at some point, maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna experiment with creating my own trigger motions. Right now, this is the default. I push the X on the joystick, and she jumps, and it's kind of delayed. Yeah, you know what? It's actually not that bad. I've enjoyed messing around with it so far with the couple of hours that I've had to play with it. Some of the unusable motion capture that I have, it was damn near unusable in iclone 7, and I pretty much gave up on it. But I imported some of that in here, and it seemed to handle it better without a lot of interference from me, a lot of cleanup. So with a little bit of work, I mean, I might be able to actually save that. Yeah, this is like some of the default ones. I do kind of like this feature with the pre-rig motions and stuff. I think it'll save a lot of time and energy. What I am noticing in this experiment is that skydome is also being used for lighting, so that could be helpful. Because like once she steps inside of that skydome, she takes on the lighting of the sky and the floor, so that could be an interesting. There's something there. For the motions, you know, in general, I mean, yeah, you know, when I don't know what the hell it is that people want, I generally charge them an hourly rate of $80 an hour, but I usually break it down into 15-minute increments. So if it's a quick gig, regardless of what it is, whether it's just like a quick one-on-one tutorial session, you know, help you figure out something, or if you just need a motion done and it's an emergency or whatever. So if it's like a 15-minute or less thing, usually you can get it done for like $20 from me. So I mean, that's how I usually quote it when there's not a lot of details around it. $80 an hour, broken down in 15-minute increments. And most cases, you know, a general motion or whatever can be done in about 15 minutes or less. So usually you can expect to pay about $20 for a custom thing. You can also send a list of motions to support@toontitan.com with your requests. And whenever I get together with the stunt team and we have the suit put on, we can just do it in mass quantity, you know, just the different motions that people have requested, and we could just upload them to the site, and you pay like $1, $2 per motion. But that's one way for you to get also what you want and only pay like $1, because eventually it's gonna get, you know, it's gonna get offset by everybody else buying it. So you know, so it just depends. If it's like a super emergency, you just need this specific motion done right away. You might be able to just get it for like $20, no big deal. If it can wait, then just send me a list of motions. We're probably going to be getting together tomorrow, and we just knock it out then, upload it to the catalog, and once it's on the catalog, you could just buy it for like $1, $2, whatever. So when you say head nodding hip hop music, that's just like somebody listening to like music on headphones, you know, like sitting down, nodding up and down, that kind of a thing. Seems like very easy enough. So yeah, I could probably pull that in like a couple minutes and have it up there on the catalog. She actually does look like she's walking on that surface. I forgot what the math was on the numbers, but she seems like she's walking fairly accurately on that. On that, what is that, platform? So she seems to actually be walking on it. Still a little bit of sliding, which means that the proportions are not exactly right. So I don't know how to record this. I would like to be able to record it and just kind of see the sequence in motion. But you know what? I think I get the idea. Let's spend some time now in Unreal. How do I get out of this mode? If I go back to Unreal and figure out how to export a higher resolution 360-degree image, let's see if we can just throw some shit in the background. Do I have any stuff that I can throw in there? Let's grab some junk. Let's see here. Library. Maybe I can grab the city park stuff. Let's see, what would be good? Close combat. Alchemist's house. Old brick house. Let's try this alchemist house. It seems to be a little bit cartoony. Did I do the right project? I suck. Iclone test, I think. Okay. That's what it was. I was waiting for some feedback. So here's a map. Let's go in there and see what that looks like. Mixamo doesn't have the motion I'm looking for. Yeah, you know, they try to just create motions that appeal to as many people as possible. So yeah, I don't know. They don't always have what you need, and I think that's always going to be the case. I was thinking of doing this before Perception Neuron released the upgraded suits. I don't know if the upgraded suits will work with the server, but I have their streaming server installed on my server, on my web hosting server. And what that does is that it allows you to connect your suit to the server and basically stream it over the internet. And the Access Neuron software basically picks it up. It's like a browser. It just grabs motion data. So I was actually thinking about doing like motion capture Mondays or something, where, you know, an actor could just sit in a room looking at a chat room and people could just ask him to move around and do stuff, and you know, whoever's watching at home, they just, all they have to do is run the Axis Neuron software and connect to the IP address and be connected live to whatever the actor is doing. So if they say, hey, move your head like this, all right, the actor can do it. And all they have to do at home is hit record, and they'll grab that live motion capture data. So that's it was an idea that I had rolling around. I don't know if how practical it is now with the new suits, but it would have been so cool to just do like 2 hours every Monday of people just requesting motions, basically by asking the actor to perform things, and he would do them live, and people would just grab those motions, you know, as needed. That would have been cool. No, I don't have the Twitch app. Yeah, they got all this extra junk in Mixamo. I used a couple of the motions on Mixamo on the Batman missions project that I did a couple years ago. I did take my original, you know, perception neuron suit, and I did most of the animations myself there. But there were some that, because the neuron suit has some limitations, like crawling around and like crawling around, like spinning around on the floor, like sitting down and lifting up your legs or whatever. It just throws the whole motion off. So when it came down to like some characters like swimming or doing things like that, I had to actually resort to using Mixamo motions, and it worked out perfectly fine. The only thing I don't like about that, I mean, I'm always gonna prefer doing my own motions, because if you have a script, you put your own personality into the motions that you want to do. You know, you're performing it. You're not just moving, and you know, you can make it work. I mean, everybody makes it work perfectly fine. It's just you always have an extra little level of personalization, you know, when you're performing something, rather than just dumping pre-rig motions. Yeah, you know, it might be something that I'm still, you know, it's worth pursuing as an experiment. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are down, you know, I could always fire it up at one of these days. You know, as long as there's people out there who can run, because Axis Neuron is free, and you know, so anybody can download it. All I have to do is give y'all the IP address, and either put on the suit myself, or have one of the actors in the stunt team just kind of waiting for whoever's watching, you know, to call out, hey, do some jumping jacks, or you know, run around in the circles and then do this, or act like you just got shot, and you know, whoever's watching at home could just immediately be capturing those motions live. It would be like a really cool experiment. I'd be down to experiment with that. The software's already installed. I just, you know, I've never actually done it live. So okay, so I got this thing running. Alchemist House. Let's go in there. Failed to load assets. What does that mean? Let's try that one. Oh, that's dark. What is this? Well, that doesn't help me none, man. This is like super dark. Let's put some lights, maybe. This should be enough to bring in some lights in here. I don't want to have to do too much work just for an experiment. Just tried something else. So that one is damaged. I need something that just looks good, so that I don't have to actually. When you say wall free, are you talking about the motions thing? Yeah, I mean that would be a cool concept to do, like a Monday's motion capture thing, and just anybody who goes in, just because basically we would be streaming the motion data live through the IP address. You plug it into the Axis Neuron software, which is free, and it's like streaming video, except that you're grabbing mocap data and you just record what you want. Okay, so I got this thing here. It's kind of pretty, cartoony. Alright, we'll play around with this. Let's see what this looks like in the... Yeah, this might be interesting. So let's get rid of this stuff here. So I mean, it might be worth taking this into iClone. We just want the skydome. Wish there was some motion in here though, so that we can take full advantage of the video part of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm so lazy, I'm thinking about just leaving all this stuff here. It just doesn't make sense doing too much work for little experiments, you know. Alright, it's good enough. Is it good enough? Yeah, good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this camera 360 thing. Where is it? There it is. Blueprints. We'll dump the pointer camera. We'll put it, I guess let's pilot it so that we can put it in the center of the room. Good enough. Stop piloting. This room feels really small. So now we're going to take this camera record 360 thing, which actually takes that projection. Oh, that is bizarre. So even though this camera is recording this environment, it's still grabbing the thing from the previous level. That is weird. So this just needs to be hidden out of the way. It just has to be on the level. So as long as it's somewhere on the level, let's hit play. Let's see what this looks like. And I bet this is not working because it's got some bullshit game mode thing going on. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Project settings. No, it shouldn't have it because I brought this in here. Maybe it came, this level has his own cameras. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's get rid of these cameras. Let's see what happens now. Okay, nope. There's still a dynamic camera killing my buzz here. So somewhere in here there's a camera. Yeah, it's a dynamic one. It's coming in game. So let's take a look at the blueprints. Oh shit! I accidentally toggled virtual reality mode. This is gonna suck. Because now I don't know how to exit VR mode. It's like Alt something. Unreal exit VR mode. I know there's a keyboard shortcut to exit VR mode. Let's see here. Shift V. Oh yeah, okay, good. I hate that because once you go into VR mode on the computer itself, you lose the buttons. Okay, so now I know what's going on. This level was designed for VR usage, and somewhere in here there's gotta be a blueprint that controls this thing. Open level blueprint. Let's see what's in here. Look at that. So here it is. On event begin play, it sets the view target to display whatever the controller is. We are going to break that. So we don't want that to happen now. Let's see. Let's see if that's all we need for now. Oh yeah. So now our 360 camera is what's being displayed. So we're looking at the entire 360 thing. I gotta figure out how to get rid of that ball, because that's the player. That's basically the player controller. So I'm going up, down, left, right here. So that's the player moving around the scene. Gotta figure out how to get rid of that. It's a little bit of a... Alright, let's hide that. Let's keep it out of the way. Oh, well, the chimney, it's moving, so there's a little animation there. It's not a complete total loss. So, let's see if we can... I still don't know how to render stuff out directly. You never exit VR mode. True. Yeah, you just take away the low resolution one and go back to the reality one, huh? These little things here for the VCam, for the touch controls, I don't like them. I guess, well, that's stuff that I just gotta figure out how to get rid of. But it's not important to the experiment here. So if I go to Camtasia and I'll record this environment for maybe a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds worth of animation. So I know I'm cheating. I'm basically grabbing screenshots. I'm pretty sure I can render out higher resolution images if I can figure out how to do that. Okay, is that good enough? Yeah. Let's stop F10 and we'll hit escape on this. And we'll just... Wow, that was longer than 10 seconds. I mean... Well, I don't care. Let's do it. It's 30 seconds long. Export file. Alchemist House. All right. All right, good enough. I mean, it's a little pixelated, of course, but that's what you get, you know, when you do a screenshot like that. So the next thing is I am going to have to figure out how to do that. That high resolution render, that's going to help. So let's see here, material. Scene content. There is the HDRI. We'll look at the diffuse channel for that, and we'll use this video. Wow, that's huge. Well, the lighting looks nice. How do we get this to work at the proper scale? Wow. Okay. You know what? It's not a bad idea though. You know, it's got potential because there's literally thousands of polygons, millions of polygons to make up that scene in Unreal, and for the sake of just having a background there for talking characters, it would work, and it has all the proper lighting from Unreal, but within iclone, you know, and you won't have to go through the whole live link stuff. So this might be a good workaround if we can figure out the math involved to get the proportions correct. Let's try 120. Whoa, that's huge. Oh, okay, that's just... Okay, so that might be what the problem is. The scale that it wants to be is 1. I think that's the scale that it wants to be. Scale 1, but inside of iclone that's too small. Might only really work for close-up shots. It's just an experiment, you know. It's an idea that I had the other day while we were watching One Gun, and I'm like, you know what? We might be able to use video as an HDRI inside of iclone itself, and just, you know, leverage that stuff. So let's see. Well, you know, the video itself should work. There it is. I mean, this... What's wrong with her eyes? Yeah, I'm shocked too. I don't know if this is the proper math. You know, they cannot watch this. What is wrong with this woman? I don't know. I feel like the math is correct or close enough, you know, as far as the scale. It's not as pixelated anymore. Let me see if I can... Let's see. Is that too low? I'm gonna try to get that ball to be like right at the bottom there. It's close enough. Man, there's gotta be a way to make that ball stretch itself out so that we don't have these empty spaces, you know? Can't we just make that ball bigger without scaling up the projection? It seems like this is the right proportions, the right scale that it needs to be. It's just not big enough. It needs to be able to maintain the scale while working inside of a larger ball. That is so weird looking. Alright, so let's try 2 times scale. Ooh, hello. That doesn't look too bad. And she's inside. Let's see what she looks like when she's walking. Because another way of knowing if the math is, you know, close enough is if there's like foot sliding or not. I mean, if we can get her to walk without any foot sliding, then that means that we've achieved the proper scale. What the hell am I doing? So bizarre. How do we launch this? Movie director, how does that work? DI control center, triggers. Is this it? Yay, we crashed. Whatever that was, it didn't like it. We will try again. Alright, so in theory, it seems to want to work. We can, in fact, get a perfect 360-degree video as a texture inside of a sphere. And I don't know what to do with it, but it seems to want to work. Wow. Why is iclone taking so long to reload? Oh, look at that. It saved my project right before it crashed. Okay, that wasn't a total loss. Good for you, Reillusion. Good for you. Good for you. So the way I see this working is, especially for like 2D stuff, you can get a base HDRI, a base skydome that would go in the far background, and you just do the close-up stuff with 3D things or 2D planes. So let's see if we can get this thing to work now. Place selected. Oh, there it is. Where'd this come from? I feel like I want to walk up those stairs, but it's not real stairs. All right, Jada Pinkett Smith, shut up. Alopecia Jones. Wow. You know what? It's not bad. It's got potential. I like the fact that we're doing this with video. The video's not moving right now, but it is video, so there could be all sorts of motion, crowds. Oh my goodness, for crowds, that would be awesome. Where did she go? Okay, I lost her. Wow. I forgot how to rotate. Okay, well, it seems to want to do something. It kind of works. I think it works best for close-up shots without distorting it too much, or for stuff like this, anyways. But for like large environments, I guess don't put anything in the foreground and stuff. Make it truly far away so that, yeah, so that it's not, you know, it gives you a chance to have all this space inside. But this, I guess it also helped that I got rid of that table and that was in the center, the table and chairs, because that would allow me to, do I have any, I don't have props, I don't buy props. I spent all my money on hair. Hair and flip-flops. Do I have any props? Wall mask. 5 props. 3 blocks. Come on, there's gotta be like a chair or something in here. Here, there's a rock. Let's put a rock here. He doesn't like it. Oh, I have to download it. I have a feeling it's about to crash again. What type of system do you have? I mean, if you make the video small enough, I think the idea would be to make like a 10-second or less video, or even a 2-second, because you want a little bit of motion, wind in the trees or whatever, you know, but you can do that with like a cycle that can be cycled, you know, within 48 frames, you know, 2 seconds worth of video. It shouldn't add that much processing demands on your computer. But I don't know. I mean, this is the first time I really try this, so I have tried working with billboards and things like that with video stuff in there, and yeah, and that's when I noticed, okay, well, you know what, the videos kind of have to be small little clips and things. This one here is a ridiculous 30 seconds long, and the only animated part is that fireplace. But that's alright, at least we get the idea that it is video. So let's see here. Oh, we have a couch. materials are not compatible. What does that mean? You know what? It's my luck that anything I ever try is the thing with the bug in it. Failed to apply materials. Materials are not compatible with this object. What does that mean? Its own materials are not compatible with its own thing. Or is it trying to... What is this? Props. I just suck at this, you know. Let's see if that works. That worked. Oh, look. Table and chairs. Let's see if that works. Dell Optiplex i7 4th generation. That's a really good system. The video card could be better. 16 gigabyte RAM, 512 SSD. Is your iclone and your iclone assets and the video stuff that you're playing, are those on the SSD drive itself, or do you have a mechanical hard drive in there? Because that could improve the performance if you just move those things to the SSD drive. That should make a lot of that faster. But your CPU is pretty decent. That GeForce 1030, yeah, that's due for an upgrade. Yeah, little clips, 1 second, 2 seconds long. I mean, you just need them to be motion cycles, you know, that just kind of play on loop. That will definitely improve performance as well. So, wow, that's promising. You know what? That might lead to some... Because see here's what I'm seeing in here. This iClone project, this video is literally one polygon, but I have all this geometry from Unreal being used as a background. Couple chairs, a table, and my character. That should not be that demanding on the system. If I can make this sphere bigger. Let's see if we can. Let's try making it 4 times. Ooh, hello. That looks like crap, but no, that would not work. Yeah, if you move your important content to the SSD, it won't have to use the mechanical drive to, you know, it'll improve. It'll give you a good 25 to 40% improvement as far as speed is concerned. The mechanical drive, they recommend basically if you have a mechanical drive, just use it for backup and storing of files and stuff. But if you have files that you're accessing, like the video files and the stuff that you're working with, like while editing, it's definitely better to have that on the SSD itself. That's going to help improve the access, read-write speed and stuff like that. You know what? That's not too bad. I could chalk it up to lens distortion. Scale of 4 seems to not, you know, distort it too much. And if it's for scenes that are like talking heads and stuff like that, I am pretty sure we can get away with this. And the stairs looks too big. How do you do the transfer of the files? Well, first you got to verify that they are in fact in your mechanical drive, and make a note of the drive letter. When you install iClone or, you know, all these Reolution products, they give you an installation path that's you know, an option there. So I guess the easiest way would be to like uninstall one of your Reolution products and you know, go through that installation process and choose the C drive, which is probably your SSD. If it's not, then choose that letter drive, and then just copy and paste the stuff from the documents drive to that other one. Is your SSD drive like a secondary? I'm assuming that's your primary one, right? That's where you run your software from. Let's see. These are big chairs. Yeah, so that's your C drive. So yeah, just confirm that there's a users directory public, I think it's called user/public/Reolution/template/ something, and that's where they post all their stuff, unless, you know, because a lot of people have a lot of content. So even me, I keep it on my secondary drive, but my secondary drive is also a solid state. So so when they install that to their secondary drive, because they figure I have more space on that one, and they moved it to their D drive or whatever. Just you know, install one of your products, have it choose the C path, and yeah, your local drive says C, and that's probably your SSD drive. And see, like for me, both of these are, and actually there's a trick that I do, because like my main drive is 500 gigabytes, and you can see I only have like 86 gigabytes left on it, and my secondary one is a 2 terabyte SSD. So what I used to do is I used to have a mechanical drive here, and this was like a 4 terabyte one. I had all the space in the world or whatever. And when you go to, like, for example, documents, if you right click, go to properties, location, notice that it's not on my C drive. By default, your documents folder is going to be on your C drive. So I always moved it to my secondary drive because that's where I have more space, but that used to be a mechanical one, and that's where all my Reolution stuff is. But now this one is an SSD drive, so it's okay for me to do it. You just gotta find your Reolution stuff, see where it is, like NVIDIA folder. Okay. See, I also have my network drives here, so I have stuff over the network. So the stuff that I definitely don't access or whatever, I just have it backed up over the network, or that I need to use my multiple computers and stuff. But yeah, if you have all your main content that you definitely use, it's gonna make everything run so much faster from an SSD drive. And keep the mechanical one just for backup purposes. file storage. Right, so this couch is definitely buggy. And now it works. I have proven myself wrong. I have no idea. Whatever. Oh, okay, so I wanted to try with the depth of field now, see if I can get some depth now that I have some objects in here. No, it's not going to say SSD. It's probably just going to be labeled C drive. See, like both of these are SSD drives. I suppose if you go to disk manager, where is it? No, it doesn't tell you if it's an SSD drive or not. But I know because I installed them myself, but that's the only reason why. How do I know when I see it? Well, if your computer has a SSD drive and that's the way it came, most likely it was installed as your C drive, so that's it right there. Anything in here is solid state, and anything in your secondary drive most likely is your mechanical stuff. Let's see here. Where are my camera settings? Ooh, hello. So, scene, sofa, dining table, camera, pick parent. Let's get a really nice long lens, 200 millimeters. Focus distance. It's got potential. This technique, I think it does have potential. I am going to end up using it. There's going to be some scenes in my... If you move it to an external drive, it might. If your external drive is a SSD though, that's the only reason I would do it. But if basically your software has to know where the path is for your thing. As long as your software, when you install it, it will ask you where is the path to the common files. And if your solid state drive is an external one and it's drive D, X, or whatever, as long as it knows, it should be able to find them. So just physically moving the stuff it's not gonna, it's not gonna find them later on. But you have to do it from within the software, I guess. And the easiest way I know to do that is to just uninstall iClone, or uninstall, uninstall the main stuff first, and then reinstall it, because when you go through the installation process, that's when it asks you where the paths are. I don't know if those paths are, I mean, maybe they are here. Exit, let's see, project settings, preference. I mean, it seems logical that it would be here. Alright, so if you're not seeing a backup drive other than your external, so this is where you're at. If your files are on that external one, then moving them to your C drive under the regular documents path area, that's what would make your stuff faster. If you're keeping them on your external one, then it's going to continue working the way it is now. So you just gotta. This is how you find it. This will be a quick way to know. Go to if you go to like your content stuff, like find any piece of content, right click on it, select find file, and it's gonna launch the window. So for me, this piece of content is installed under my C drive. So that's the easiest way to figure it out. If you do this in iClone or Character Creator, locate any one of these files. Notice it's C users, public documents, reillusion. So my stuff is directly on the primary SSD. So this would be a good way to do it, to figure it out. Get any piece of content, find file, it'll launch it inside of Explorer, and look all the way to the left. So if you have an external drive, most likely that external drive is not going to be drive C. It's going to be drive D, E, F, or whatever. So if you do this and you see drive D or whatever, then that means your content is in your external drive. So maybe moving it to your C drive might be a better option. It just depends on how you installed your stuff originally. But if it's already on the C drive, then at that point I wouldn't worry about it anymore, because it's a good sign that it's already on the SSD and it's probably as fast as it's going to get. This angle of view thing. Wait a minute. This angle of view gave me a wider field. Oh, well, of course, this is because I'm using, it switched to 45, so the smaller the number, then you're using a wide angle lens, so it's good for shooting in small spaces like in the real world. So like a 24 millimeter, that's a really good lens. It's really good for small rooms. So I guess just like the real world, if you're limited by the constraints of space requirements, you could just use a wide angle lens and it looks pretty decent. I mean, you get the distortion of the faces and stuff, but it looks decent enough. So let's see now if we can try this thing with the controller again. Whoa, what's happening? It's not, you know, the foot sliding is really not that bad. I think if I download 8, what path should I choose? Choose the default path. Whatever is after the C drive. If it says anything other than C for you, change it to C. Because I'm pretty sure your primary local disk is your C drive. I would check though, because you said you only have a 500 gigabyte hard drive. So one of the things that I would check first is go to this PC right there and look at how much space you have left. You know, make sure you have enough space to actually put all that stuff in there. You might have to get rid of some stuff to make space. There's a program called WinDirStat, and allows you to analyze all your drives. And let's see here. So I'm going to analyze my C drive real quick. This is a really good program, and I highly recommend it if you find yourself in a situation where you've run out of space and you have no idea what to delete. We're going to let this thing run for a few minutes, and we'll come back to it, and I'll show you how that works. But that's assuming that you don't have enough space. I mean, check there first. Make sure you have 100 gigs or more or whatever, because especially with iClone, the assets and stuff, you use a lot of space. Like a lot of people just have a lot of props and things, and I try not to. I usually just have a few characters. I usually spend most of my money on hair and clothing items for my characters. But a lot of people who do like filmmaking and do it all inside of inside of iClone, pretty much all their films, then they try to have all these iClone formatted 3D models and stuff, and it gets big really fast. I've been in dump mode all day. Let's see what the status is on this. So this thing, 79% so far. Once it gets to 100%, I'll show you how this particular program works. It's a free program. Just type in Google WinDirStat. It just basically lets you visually see where all your files are and where the space is being used. Man, this is really motivating me to work on my film. I think the technique is solid, man. This this motion director thing is cool. I think I'm gonna be able to do a lot of things with this. I mean, the first scene of my film involves the guy named Taco coming into this warehouse. And he's walking, he's going to be running and stuff. I might actually end up doing this instead of doing the motion capture thing. I wonder if I can make my own motion capture motions and apply them to this. That might be even better. WinDirStat, yeah. Win directory status. Windows directory status. It's a little app that I picked up while I was working at HostGator. I used to work for HostGator. It's a web hosting company. A lot of geeks and nerds and stuff. I picked up a few things from them, and I've been using this one all the time. Oh, I lost her. Okay. So I gotta figure out how to actually record the motion. Maybe I can do that now. Figure that out. So there's the thing. It's macro data. It has a stop button. It has 2 items. Jump and tidy up. What does that mean? Oh. Okay. So how do I actually record this? Just start, reverse. If you are rendering something, you should probably wait. Yes, because that might affect things. So here's Winderstat. It finished analyzing my C drive, and these colors are all the files in my computer. So this thing here, look at this thing. This thing is like the biggest file of them all. It's a hybrid-fill sys. This is a 25 gigabyte file. This is a temporary file that your system uses, so we're not going to mess with that. The second biggest one is this one, page file. So these are Windows files, but I mean, look, that's a huge file right there, a 25 gig file, just taking up space. So then we have stuff like this. We got this one here, Home.2 Windows No Editor Pack, 5.6 gigs. This is probably just some temporary file like Oculus, Worlds, Home, Content Packs in my Oculus directory, which is taking up 10 gigs. Do I even use this? I don't think I use it. I could just go here, right click. Command prompt. Select parent. I could do it in here. Delete. So just like that, I got rid of a huge file that was taking up unnecessary space on my computer. So there, I got a bunch of here, these yellow ones. VPK. This is part of Steam. So Steam is using up this entire sector right here. So these are some kind of packs, content packs. Workshop. I think this is a game called Steam Workshop, which I don't use. This is built for. This is used for making virtual worlds and stuff, like for VR chat and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much safe to delete this. That would clear up 13 gigs for this whole folder thing. This content one, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could delete this and gain 13 gigabytes of files back. You can also just kind of see the overview here. The user's drive, public. So here's my documents folder. Reallusion is using 99% of my data, so I got 71.9 gigabytes of Reallusion junk. And that's all my template files. And so these are all my Character Creator 3 stuff. The iClone 7 is right there. Cartoon Animator 4 stuff is here. So this is a quick way of seeing just how much of your of your system is dedicated to that. So there's my Reallusion shit right there compared to all the rest of the system. Take a look at this big file here. Men's suits. some men's suit B avatar, 200 megs. Yeah, it just depends on how much you have, available at this point. But if you use this program, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find a bunch of junk that you don't need, and you'll probably find some big files here and delete them. I used to have a bunch of ISO files and stuff that I just they just get brought in, and you don't need them. Temporary files, like when you download programs and things like that. Yeah, very useful little app. But yeah, back to the main point is that if you do move your actual working files to the SSD, you will gain a little bit of a speed improvement. Your video board could definitely use an upgrade though. But your CPU, that Intel i7 that you have, that's pretty good. Alright, well, I think I've tested all I needed to test so far in this. What am I missing? I guess I really do need to work on exporting and figuring out how to export a high resolution HDRI out of Unreal. Export from PIE Unreal. Let's consult the Oracle, see what we can find. Yeah, no problem, anytime. Plain simulating Unreal. Movie render. Let's see what this is. See, I know there's a lot that I need to learn with the sequencer. I'm leaving that for last, basically, because I've been focusing mainly on the actual filmmaking process, and I don't think the sequencer is part of that yet. That's more of like rendering and editing and stuff. Okay, I don't think I have time for this. And when I tried working with the renderer, because I treated it like if it was like a nonlinear editor, like After Effects and stuff, and it just didn't, and it just made more sense to just export stuff live. But now that we're here, I am finding that now I'm to the point where I do need to learn how to do this. In the content browser, find the mesh object you want to export. That's not what I want. Render video from PIE Unreal. Rendering animation or animation sequence. Okay. 6 minutes long. Let's take a quick look at this.
So first of all, I got this simple scene, and I want to render this out with some camera movement. So first thing I'm gonna do is camera actor, rotate it, and get under these. Just click it. I'm gonna call it wherever you want.
It just looks like I can't get away from sequencer. I'm gonna have to rely on it.
And now I'm gonna add the camera I just created into this sequencer. So now we got this Cine Camera Actor 4 now. And then after you check out your camera name, and add an actor to sequencer and select that camera.
Um, yeah, I think I had my mic on mute there, but yeah, the video board itself is a piece of hardware. So anything above a like a you know above what you have now should give you a significant improvement. I think you could probably get for like 200, $300 like a RTX 1080. And that's a perfectly decent video board. Anything higher than that obviously is going to be like super killer, but there's no need to go too high. As long as it supports RTX, ray tracing and stuff like that, you should be good. Definitely, I think the one that you have right now is not. It doesn't support a lot of the stuff like from the 1080 and above. Okay, so sequencer. I think I got it. Let's see. If I remember correctly, we go here, add a level sequence, call it Shmar. Okay. So how do I go in there? Oh, I am in there. So now that I'm in there, I need the camera. Is it this camera? No. These guys here. It's this camera. So I'll take this camera, dump it in there. Oh, that's not how it's done, is it? I gotta do it from here at actor 360. Okay, it's the same thing. Alright, well, it is the same thing. Now what? Do I just hit a render button? Oh, it would be so cool if it actually does it. Exports JPEG. I wonder if I have a choice. Settings. Apple ProRes. Getting a little whatchamacallit, ambitious. Let's just stick to regular JPEGs for now. But Let's see, JPEG sequence is about 1 minute long. Accept. Clear config. If this works, man, this is gonna be cool. Of course, I'm just gonna have to go back and redo everything I've done here in like within a matter of a 3-minute video, so I can reference it later on for my own knowledge. So let's see. What the hell is this? Oh, okay, that launches the thing. How do I... How does this work? Well, I have no idea how to change this path, but let's see what happens if I just do this. You know, I haven't actually tried Omniverse yet. I only recently started seeing what people do, especially when they said that this iclone thing was going to have a connection to it. It seems like it's actually more directed for filmmaking type stuff. I'm going to have to give it a serious look because, I mean, I do want to work with like an engine, you know, but I don't like all this clicky dicky stuff, you know, like clicking around and writing little bits of code and things like that. I just want to make films, you know. I thought I was seeing NVIDIA RTX for 200. I'm just seeing other companies close to that price now. Yeah, they're actually going through a price dip right now. Right now is a really good time to buy a new video card. The prices have kind of leveled themselves back to like MSRP, because for the longest time, the last 2-3 years, man, all these encryption miners and stuff, they've been, you know, buying them out and just raising the prices. So even for like a crappy little GPU, you know, you were paying like $1,000-$2,000 for it, and there's a small dip right now where you could go to Best Buy and actually find decent video cards for like $200, $300, whatever. But there's an expected demand to go up again, so the prices is going to go up significantly again for another year or so. I think starting next few months. So let's see here. Gotta find that directory. Did it work? Oh shit! It worked. I mean, I ended up with this extra bar, but that's something that I could cut off. Wow. Alright, so let's see if we can find a way to make it even more high res. Is it here? See, I just did this not too long ago. Those will do the job. Are you talking about the images or the video board? Give me a second. Let me take a phone call. All right, so yeah, the Best Buy video cards. I mean, all they have is like, anything they have there that's like a RTX board should work perfectly fine. In your case, I mean, even the lowest end one that you find is going to be better than the one that you have now. That those GT ones, they're like super old, and I'm surprised, that people are still like, especially if they're doing 3D work and stuff. That I mean, they're good for like some games and stuff, playing games, and those games are highly optimized already as it is. But from a development point, even like a 1080 like a 10 series, it should be like the minimum stuff that you should work with. But you won't. I don't think you'll find those at Best Buy. You might find the 20-something series and above. So earlier, I don't remember where I did this. Let me see if I can remember. Change the resolution. I think I did it. Where did I do that? Edit project settings. Is it under play? Plugins, platforms, editor. It's one of these. Man, I gotta really like remember how I do things. Edit. Editor preferences, maybe. Privacy plugins, content level editor, play. I think this is where it was. New viewport resolution 2560 by 1280. So let me confirm that that's what we exported. Paste. This is security details 1920 by 1080. So how do I change that resolution? All settings. Viewport resolution, minimum default, override projects, viewport resolution, rendering resolution. Could it be here? Override the project's maximum viewport resolution, maximum default rendering resolution to use for editor viewports 2160. I think I'm already using bigger, smaller than that. There's got to be a way to tell the system what size I want these images to be. High resolution. I don't know what that does. Settings. Ooh, hello. Okay. So, this is what we need. Here it is. I hope I can remember how I found this. So, I need a really huge resolution, and I need it to match. I need it to match this image. Properties 1920 by 960. by 960, which has got to do the math and multiply times 4 or something. So right now I have 1920 by 960. And I want this to be huge, like 2000. Oh, that's such simple math, because it is 2:1 aspect ratio. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so it's 2:1. So let's take this, multiply by that, and double it over here. 4,000 by 2,000. That's simple enough math. 4,000 by 2,000. Boom. So now we accept and render local. So this rendering is taking a while, but I mean, these should be super huge images. Where is it? Wow, 4 megabytes for a single image. Wow, that's really nice resolution though. I don't think iClone is going to handle this. I don't think iClone is going to handle this. It might be able to handle one image. So let's play around with the single image first, and then we'll try kicking its butt with the stress test. So let's see here. Content. How do I get out of here? Scene, the HDRI, double click there. We'll grab one of these, and that is our high resolution HDRI. Looks really freaking good. And wow, that looks really good. I mean, I guess if it's a static image and stuff, I mean, that'll work perfectly fine at any size. I bet even if I make this thing bigger, the pixelation is not going to be that bad. I guess 4 is the magic number, or I simply have the wrong. That's probably what it is, maybe 5. And I wonder if a box projection would be better than a dome. That's probably, if that might be it. Might be dealing with something that needs to be projected inside of a box instead of a dome. Okay. And of course, ideally, this is not something that you would leave alone. I mean, you would cover this up with another plane. Let's see if I can. Do I have anything? So what are you rendering out right now? What are you working on? That's pretty cool. I think that can be worked. Oh, nice. think there is a way to adjust the rotation of that background thing. Wow, yeah, this has a lot of possibilities. I think the room is what's taking so long. Yeah, you know, this technique will work for like basic talking head single shot scenes where the camera doesn't have to be doing nothing too extreme. I could even bring this pre-blurred, like I can fake I could fake the camera depth of field. I don't even have to, you know, because right now I'm using an image. Let me try that. And that's not where I want to be. Let's try this again. Well, what all is in that room that you're building? Okay. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to basically apply a filter to it. Gaussian blur. So in practice, we take a background and made it intentionally blurry, which should fake the field of view to something that's unrealistic. So we already have a blur thing, and we're not actually using a camera blur. So everything is literally in focus, except so there's no mistaking, like, you with the focus settings, you know, everything is properly in focus, but it still looks like it's out of focus. So that's another technique that might be worth chasing. So whenever you make these VTuber videos, they you have to render them out. I guess what I'm trying to say is, are you doing them in iclone, like through the live thing, or do you like literally go in there and animate them and then post render them? Because normally when I do the animation work, I leave the rendering till the end, and I don't actually render. I just screen record. But so you're literally like animating the thing and just leaving it out to render, huh? Wow, this could lead to some possibilities, because I can still, you know, use my camera's field of view, but it won't affect that background too much because it's already viewed. So it's like multiple levels of fields of views. I'll be like, how do you keep your camera perfectly in focus? You just go zoom in, zoom out, and the camera does not go out of focus no matter what. If they only knew we were cheating. I wonder if there's a bokeh filter. I guess it wouldn't really be that hard to do. I mean, if we just take this, where's my layers? Man, I haven't used Photoshop in forever. Layers, create a new layer on top of that. I need maybe some circles. There's probably an easier way. I probably don't need to do them on the floor because nobody's going to see that. So if I do this, I might as well go all the way out. So if I do this and render them, I can go in here, give it a color based on one of the background colors. Then I duplicate this layer. Where are we? And change that to one of the other colors. Maybe that fire color. And flip it maybe. Transform horizontal. That works. It's a little too pretty. Control Shift T. Let's bring it in like this. We're totally gonna fake this bokeh effect. Let's duplicate it again. Rasterize layer. Duplicate layer. And let's change that color to another color that's in the image. Alright, we'll just adjust the transparency levels a bit. Bokeh. Yeah. So take it you're in Florida. So make some more motion to it. Yeah, rendering. So did it in iclone and animated it with Mixamo. Okay. Just totally faking this effect. So filter, we'll do a lens blur. We'll just repeat that here. And we'll repeat it there. And we're gonna merge these. We just need a big old bunch of garbage on the background. Duplicate layer. Filter. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Yeah, it looks good. Right. Filter, we'll do that blur again. It just looks like a bunch of garbage. It's perfect. So file, export. Oh, I guess I could just Control Shift S. That'll be faster. Huh. The screen went to a washed out blue color. Yeah, that's weird. I've never seen anything like that before. So fake bokeh. Let's see. Did it save it? No, it's a huge file. So I'm gonna have to make an official tutorial on how to do this effect, because I have a feeling a lot of people are gonna benefit from it. There's trying to get a camera to do that bokeh effect with the custom shapes and stuff. That's something that only like high-end cameras do with the lenses, some weird stuff. But if you can do that without necessarily having to mess with the camera stuff and it's just baked in, I think this is a really cool effect. Let me see here. I'm gonna import it and see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like bokeh. Yeah, looks good. I bet if I put, I'm just going extreme here. I wonder. I was able to see it clearly again. I turned off the GI and HDR, and then I was able to see it. Yeah, I wonder why it was doing that. Let me try this. Go to fake blur, and then go to scene. I'll duplicate. This one, I'll make it smaller. So it's two sky domes, one inside of the other one, except this one is going to have this, and we're going to find out if we can put transparent images on a sky dome. So we'll get rid of this and we'll just leave that effect. Export. Bokeh layer, transparent. Man, if this works, this could also lead to all sorts of possibilities. So we'll take this one here, we'll replace it with just this layer. It did not work. There's some name linkage involved. Why? I don't know. Maybe if I change the name of it. No. So that's not gonna work. Let's see if we can do it with one of the other ones. So let's see here. So that's definitely two. I'm going to take that one I'm gonna give that one the fake blur. It's so big. And this one's gonna have the bokeh. Okay. So when we animate, we have something that is multi-layered, so it has that parallax. Let's see if we can make that other dome smaller. $150. Let's try 10. It's too little. 25. Oh, wow. And the other end result of this is that we got little bokeh in front of the camera too, like lens flares almost. That is very interesting. Oh man, I could see this being used for various things. You can see like some cyberpunk type effects. Oh, I bet you can animate this, make it like spin in circles and stuff. I'm just getting too crazy with this, because now I'm thinking you can put a light and shine some colored shadows onto the floors and stuff. That is really cool effect. It's super cheap. I'm literally just using 2 images. I'm not even doing it with video yet. Let's see if I can get this one to be a little bit smaller. It's too small. I'll take this little bokeh things. Maybe there is a way to adjust the transparency. Can I make it more transparent? Oh, there we go. Opacity. I mean, we just want a little bit of garbage on the upper layers, just to imply that there's like lighting being, you know, refracted or whatever. Wow. That is a very unintentional outcome. Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe I can make a whole pack of these pre-built sky domes for special effects and put them on the market. There you go. This is all static, but I mean, it looks like I'm screwing around with some kind of particle effect. Wow, okay. That is going to lead to a lot of possibilities. I like that. Yeah, no, there's so many applications to this now. I can totally see myself. See, if you can animate this circular, the sky dome, it's already transparent. So you required like higher end GPUs for, you know, creating particle effects and stuff like rain. So what if you just animate the little rain droplets in here out of focus or whatever, and just animate that circle spinning up and down like that, and then it's not a real particle effect, but it'll look like it, and you can easily create some very advanced rain, for example, and it wouldn't be that, you know, taxing on the CPU or graphics card at all, because it's just one image being spun around, or multiple image, because I'm assuming that I could create even more layers of this. Let me see here. Duplicate, and I go here, make it smaller, rotate it a little bit. So there you go, multi-layered bokeh particles. Very romantic looking. Some kind of party. The girl goes out, and then the love interest walks up, and some Kenny G music plays, and you know, go for the Oscar. That is a really cool looking effect. I love it. Alright, so that is going to be my next tutorial. I gotta put my notes together and do this, because this is a great effect. I think it'll benefit a lot of people. How come I haven't seen anybody do this before? This is a very expensive effect, and everybody's always tried to do it with cameras. That's very nice. I love it. I'm proud of myself. Alrighty then, I am going to log off, go have lunch with the family, and I'll probably stream a little bit more later on tonight, where I'm actually going to be doing some real work on my film. And but I was able to confirm that we can in fact use video. I do want to take these images, convert them into a high-res video, and see how that goes, but I think I'm just going to wait till later to do that. I'm very happy so far with this, because even with static images, this is beautiful. I love it. Alright, anybody who is still here watching me, following along, thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back. It sure does, huh? Reality show. No, it's very difficult. A lot of this bokeh effects, you really do require some very high-end, like super expensive lenses to produce in real life, and of course, to do it in the in digital format, you gotta play around with the lenses and anamorphic math and stuff like that. But you know what? Little Photoshop. That's all it took. Nice. No strain on the CPU. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.